Hello, everybody. Welcome to the apocalypse. Wait, it already happened. Oh, you missed it. You missed the apocalypse.
Thanks,
Sorry.
John.
Oh, shit.
We missed the apocalypse, but we've got this instead.
Well, I mean,
And
we're post apocalypse.
that's pretty good. It's pretty good. I like how post apocalypse is bad usually, but post scarcity is good. Like, can we have an apocalypse that afterwards everything is better? Can we just have one of those? Where just like all the bad stuff goes away instead? That's the kind of apocalypse I can get behind.
And I think you have to justify like why the apocalypse was actually an apocalypse if it took out all the bad things.
I think the apocalypse is a scary place, and you know why the apocalypse is a scary place?
Probably
Because, well, I mean, dice, but also because the people who are capable of doing the bad stuff just go ahead and do that. You know what I mean? Like there are people who
the implication there is that the breakdown of order allows people who would otherwise do bad shit to each other to do them unscathed. I think
to do it brazenly and openly enough that like there is no authority to challenge the fact that their bad shit is so bad that they should not be doing it. You know what I mean? Like we're talking about like the like decency of a regular person. You know, as weird as that sounds.
Well, right, and I think that's the implication of apocalypse fiction generally, right? Is there's this assumption that if large scale community enforcing, like morality enforcing structures break down, people would just go bananas and start eating each other.
I'm not entirely sure that that's true, but what I would say is there are definitely people who would.
I think there are people who would do that now.
Yeah, so. I mean there are, but there's a matter of like the enforcement. You know what I mean? Like it's a matter of like risk versus reward for some people, right?
It's true.
That was kind of why I made Tynant's water temple commune the way it was, because I was like, actually, this is what I think would happen in the apocalypse: is you would have like a bunch of fucking people just like posse up and make a community.
I mean,
and that would be very powerful.
It's the same reason I made Dice the way she is, because she's fucking horrible.
Well, the great irony, or maybe not irony, but that for me as a personal struggle, and I don't know if I've mentioned this on like the mainstream, but I've definitely talked about it in the prep stream, is that when you as a player create something that like I'm into personally as a person, I'm like, yeah, Tynant's thing would actually like be pretty cool and stuff, but it's my job to destroy it. So thanks for putting me in that position.
Yep.
That's
making you destroy something you love.
That's my struggle, right? Like the beautiful thing you've created, it's my job to get up there and wreck it.
That's why I do my best every time we play a game like this, to just make things that are as unnormal and unthinkable as possible, so it doesn't matter if they get destroyed, because they probably didn't make any sense to exist in the first place.
Right. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things, right? Like, because we are playing a game and the game has structures, we can posit questions about what would it be like after the downfall of civilization. But the answer is, because of the mechanics of the game, it will just keep getting worse. Like you're spinning plates and the plates are full of nuclear fire. One thing that I think is really cool, and I've talked about this, I think just generally talking about apocalypses and stuff, is that the popular meaning of the word apocalypse is like end of the world, like, nuclear fire, like zombies that emerge from fungus, that kind of thing. But the actual word from Greek just means an uncovering. So like a disclosure of knowledge or like a revelation. So you can have an apocalypse that's just like, yeah, everything has changed. Right? The previous thing is no longer valid because of this massive uncovering.
It's
and
the
I think
big reveal.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that also applies to nuclear bombing of everything.
Sure,
you know what I mean?
definitely.
Everything has changed. The rules no longer apply. Everything is different. Like,
yeah.
Consequences.
I don't know. I think it's relevant.
Dave. Yeah, you done goofed, and consequences will never be the same.
Yeah,
it's true. But I mean,
I want an apocalypse that destroys causality to the point where the apocalypse didn't cause itself anymore, because it can't have ever been the thing that triggered something else to happen.
Why, Dave?
Do you know why you want that, Dave? You want that because Japanese cartoons have given you bad ideas about how the world is supposed to work.
Yep.
I blame Japanese cartoons for that attitude.
It's nice to want things, Dave.
But as we all know, it's you can't always get what you want. So
sometimes if you try.
See, Adam, are you trying to get songs stuck in my head now?
I was trying to get counter vengeance on you, but
you can get what you need.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's talk about
what
our
else?
apocalypse.
Yeah, what else?
So in the grand tradition of this particular show, we've forgotten to do Hex again.
Yay!
So
We're really good at playing this game.
yeah, we're really good at the
I
Hex
think,
part.
I think
of
the
the
thing
game.
is we're just really good at closing out shows.
Mm.
So we just close it out before it's done.
Yeah,
Like-
yeah, it's true. I left my GM notebook in the other room, so I'm gonna let y'all figure out your Hex shit, and I'm gonna go get it. So I'll be right back.
Big
Okay.
deal.
Don't
So what's
usurp
the
me while I'm
thing
gone.
about who
Or
knows
do
who?
actually? go
It's
for it.
who knows who better, and who knows who, or if not, who knows who worse.
Can we do a quick review of last session?
Sure.
I didn't get a chance to like watch.
I mean, I can give you a review of what I did, but I don't remember what everybody did.
You got captured.
I remember getting
You
captured.
got captured by Bill.
I'm trying to remember if I interacted with any of the PCs. Oh, I totally
yeah, you
interacted
did. You did.
with.
You talked with me
You talked with
and
me.
Grace.
Yeah, and I also hung out with Ferris.
Yeah. In fact, you were everywhere. Actually,
yeah.
I don't think we
Well,
talked. I
nice.
don't think you and I talked.
The beginning of last time was the confrontation with Junior, Dice, and Ferris, in which Dice actually contained her wrath for once and didn't get herself murdered.
To be fair, I was kind of ill at the time.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
She
We
wasn't herself. you
If there's
know?
anything I know about Dice, it's that she's terminally ill.
And then we skipped to Hit Me Up, where your Babylon and Bean and Dice came in, and Tynant was there, and I was there with Scab, I think her name was.
Yeah, Scab.
Confrontation there. And then Dice rolled her thing, and some people are poisoned, evidently. And then you and I had a little conversation outside of Hit Me Up, Tynant. It wasn't, I don't think a whole lot, I don't remember what exactly was in that conversation.
It was a genuine talk about, are you okay? Are you doing all right? Like, kind of thing. That was the
Oh,
time.
right. It was like, you can come to me, like, and just like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
know
it's the
what's
whole
going
game we
on
play
in
where
your life.
Tynant is a nice person, and that
right.
scares you.
You know,
I'm
I
just-
like how you have this idea of Tynant as a nice person, but
Because
I like
don't.
I can't. Yeah, I can't get my head around that. Like, I think, and I don't think that this is necessarily a disconnect. Like, I don't think you're doing anything wrong, but I love that you have this very different opinion of your character than I feel like I do as a person.
Well, because yeah, they do actually care about people, but like their way of going about it is really twisted and weird because it's the
Yeah.
post-apocalypse.
It's a really good example
Regret-
of what we were talking about with like the redoing of current moral systems, like within the moral system of law and respecting the dead. Tynant is A+, doing it super good. Just the rest of us don't necessarily buy into that because it's
A+.
not super close to what it is
Yeah.
for us normally. I think it's cool.
Yeah, I mean,
Sure what happened
we're not
after,
saying it wasn't cool. Definitely.
in terms of what happened after that, I don't quite remember. It must have anything to do with my character.
Tynan went to go talk to Bill, and then Babylon died from
That was
poison.
directly after that? Okay.
Yeah.
Pretty
Let's
much.
not use the passive voice here. Babylon didn't just die of poison.
He died from poison. It wasn't me, it was Bean.
A poisoning occurred to Babylon, who now does not live anymore.
Passive voice. He died of poison that he consumed of his own free will, outside of
Right,
my
of course, it was obviously a suicide.
outside of my area of influence. Yep. And Ferris did some stuff with the dying, the elephant graveyard or whatever.
They're heading that way, right?
Yeah, there's what was the name of your dog?
Nipperkin.
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 We
Nipperkin.
did the Google search, I remember.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you exposed him to deadly Google radiation.
Yeah, and I remember I totally like failed a roll, and he was like, "Yeah, sure, let's go do a thing," and that's just really worrying because like that's how that's about.
Yep.
Okay.
We'll see what happens.
So Nipperkin and Ferris were on their way to the elephant graveyard.
Robot
Um,
elephant graveyard.
Huh?
Yeah, robot elephant graveyard.
There's no elephants.
No
Robot
elephants, not literal elephants, just so everyone's real clear on that.
Not actual elephants.
No actual
And
elephants.
Tynant
Or even
is
robot
being
elephants.
Bill, and Brace is hanging out with Scab and Junior, and Dice is trying to gather what remains of Hit Me Up.
Pretty much.
So who knows who better than last time or worse?
Who wants to start?
I feel like the clearest thing is between you and Ferris, isn't it?
Between me and Ferris.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Ferris knows me better, but we're asking like, I can't remember what the question is that we ask here. That's
I
supposed
think
to
the question is simply like who knows.
Yeah,
like,
who knows you better? Who knows you better than they did before? And if you can't think of anybody, then somebody knows you less well. Somebody thinks
so
thinks of you a way that you are not.
I think having seen Dice be vulnerable, Ferris would know me better than before.
Yep.
Like
Makes sense.
you've seen me sick and like dying and like
Yeah, that whole scene was pretty
Scared.
revelatory.
And I told you to do something, and you did it, which was not to get in any trouble.
yeah. Oh, I get XP for that, right?
That's right. Yeah, you get to mark XP
Hell
for behaving
yeah.
yourself.
Okay. I don't know. I feel like I hung out mostly with NPCs. Maybe I don't know if Tynant necessarily knows me better. We had like a conversation that might have been more revealing to me about his character than it was to him about my character. Like, what do you think, Andrew?
Yeah, I feel like maybe. Yeah, like you were. It was me being vulnerable with you, right? Rather than
Yeah, I don't think it was something.
Grace didn't open up at all.
I don't know if I did open up to anybody. So in that case, it would be who knows me less well.
Yeah, you pick somebody to give a -1 hex to.
I think that would be Dice.
Okay.
Because I think that we're like whatever we had before the one shot happened is kind of like fading.
Yeah, I get that.
Makes sense.
It's sad when
you
friends
know
grow
me.
apart.
Yeah. So Dice would mark -1 or I mark negative?
No, Dice does. You pick someone else to lose one.
Okay.
I marked it. It's cool.
Right, who does Tynant know better or not?
No, who knows Tynant?
Who knows Tynant better? I mean, had Ferris seen me heal people before?
No.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Let's get you.
Yep, that makes a lot of sense.
It's you. Should we do highlighting while we're here?
Yes.
No, it's
Am
an
I allowed to
appropriate
do my
time.
hex?
That's the other thing. We
Oh
always-
right, yeah, Dave's text. Sorry, I'm just like my brain is like going forward.
It's done on her sheet, so
Yeah.
everyone must be done.
I'm the
Listen,
worst. Okay.
Ferris's invisibility machine is working on overdrive right now. So
Listen, I'm the worst. I know it. Okay,
it's
Dave.
fine.
I'm the worst. I know it. Let's move on.
Dice knows Ferris better because
Hell
Ferris actually
yeah,
stood up to her and made her do stuff,
that's true.
which is quite out of character.
All right, cool.
All right, Dave. Who's gonna highlight for you? You go first because you're not invisible.
Okay. So Tynant is now the highest on my sheet.
All right, so you should highlight. I mean, in as much as it will encourage you to keep exposing my friend to badness, I think I need to highlight your weird, just so you'll like get it over with.
Yeah, no,
Quickly.
that sounds good. Yeah, just bleed out through his brain or something. I don't know. That seems fun.
I'm gonna highlight your. I'm gonna highlight your hot.
Oh yes, we've been waiting for that to get highlighted.
Yeah.
Really socially inept. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, that's good. I want to destabilize things, so I'm gonna incentivize you to try to do that. Cool. Brace, why don't you go next?
Dice and Tynant are tied.
So pick one.
Tynant. Andrew.
Okay, so remind me of what sub moves you have.
I
Don't roll
roll
hot for
plus
anything.
weird for going aggro, so that's no hard. Well, I can still probably seize by force, but
Yeah,
and
you
then
absolutely
I roll
can.
for manipulate instead of plus hot. So a lot of weird.
Yeah, but there are still other uses.
I
for
can
both
still
those.
do seduce, which would still be plus hot. I just manipulate is plus weird, and then seize by force would still be hard, but go aggro is weird.
Yeah, or if you go aggro not using your brain for whatever reason, which
I could make that choice, I suppose.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, sometimes you don't have a choice. If you point a gun at somebody, that's going aggro not with your brain.
Yeah, that's true. It's not my brain.
I mean, you're using your brain.
You're sharp.
You're using your brain to move your arm, I guess, but it's different.
Everything I do uses my brain.
Now that's a revelation. All right. I will highlight your. Oh, this is gonna be a good episode for Brace. I'm gonna highlight your. I want to highlight your. It's a toss-up. I want to highlight your hard, I think.
No one wants to highlight my weird. I love my weird. I should have picked Dice. She would have highlighted my weird.
I would have highlighted your weird.
Because on the spot,
100% would have 100% highlighted your weird.
See,
Next.
Dice is the kind of person who just plays to what you think you want, whereas Tynan is the kind of person who plays to what you don't know that you.
I see how it is. We're going there. All right.
Yeah, I'm like, actually, you need to just keep your fucking head up.
All right.
Shit's coming your way. The person with the highest number on my sheet is Dice. So Dice, please choose a stat for me to highlight.
I will highlight your hard
And
because
Adam,
I think you might need it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give you an alternate out. I'll highlight your hot.
Going hot and hard.
Yeah, you can try to talk your way out of the situation, or you can try to fight your way out. You guys.
won't someone please just highlight my cool?
See,
I was
you
going
feel me
to
right now. You did this.
I was going to, but then I remembered what you just said 2 seconds ago. So now you have an alternate way, the thing you think you want, but you don't know that you want.
The highlighting politics.
All right, my turn.
Mhm.
Ferris.
how are things going for you at the moment?
Pretty good. I got one arm and no barter and a bar that doesn't have any drugs. You know, pretty good.
Par for the course.
You're in a confusing situation, and you're going to have to work to get yourself back on your feet. So I think you're going to need to stay sharp.
All right, sharp it is.
I mean, talking's not been your strong suit, and you've only got one arm right now. You're not exactly in fighting shape. Let's highlight your weird.
Okay.
Things are weird for you right now, Dice.
What else can you do with weird but open your brain?
That's
That's
it.
it.
I'm telling you, the maelstrom will answer all your questions. Just,
All right.
Trust in the maelstrom.
turn on that
just
brain
listen to
hose, and away you go.
All right.
Listen to the maelstrom.
Okay.
All right. So we have our lifestyle and fortune stuff to do. So, Tynan, you want to start us off?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see here. Where's my fortunes move?
All right. Let me just.
Partial success every week.
You can never manage to succeed that roll.
I mean, if it's a success, there just are still problems. So that covers my.
What did you describe what you rolled? Because I didn't. I can't. I gotta reboot something real quick. But
Oh,
keep going.
I rolled an 8.
Describe what happens. Was this judgment again?
Yep, it's still judgment. So the same problem that has been plaguing the temple is just still around.
But you are cared for. Well, I
But-
mean,
But we still, we're still being successful. It's just like everything's really tense right now, right? Like nothing overtly like bad is happening. It's just that everyone is worried about bad stuff happening, and it's all loaded.
bye, Dave.
And Dave just dropped from the call.
It's okay. He's frozen in place. He'll be back.
Everything's all crazy.
There we go.
But I think
Welcome back.
what
Zoom,
happened.
Zoom is being all kinds of weird today.
Yeah.
I think for this week, I'm only going to live a 1 barter lifestyle.
But who are you bartering with? you're in captivity.
I mean, I still have to like pay for my lifestyle and everything.
Yeah.
But we discussed this with Brace earlier in previous episodes, and if you don't have somebody to barter with, then you can't just pay barter. You can't just like hand him a shiny and he feeds you, like unless you can. I don't know.
I think in this case, you know, it's meant to be, like loose in terms of like
It's
barter.
like an abstraction.
It's an abstraction, but I also do think you're a prisoner. So I think in this case, the advantage of that is that, yeah, no, Bill, like you're getting fed and
Okay, so I don't need to pay any barter.
yeah, you don't need to pay any. But
Great.
however, because you're in a town that you just cut off from water, you're not getting any either. So everybody, including you, has to consider their de-harm water.
I have booze. Can I drink that instead?
Yes, yeah, totally. For now.
Yeah, I
Sweet.
drank your poison.
I freaking will.
Do us all a favor.
Wow!
Oh,
Started
cold. Fucking cold. Yeah,
Fuck.
yeah. As soon as
Okay.
you start to, like the I assume, Tynan, you gave the word before you left, right?
Yeah. Totally.
Okay, so we should all consider that we're experiencing dehydration.
Yeah. So
Unless like Dice would
as
have-
part of your bartering, as part of your like lifestyle, you go out into the world and you would be like, okay, I'm gonna barter for food and water and deal with all that stuff. But the people you normally barter for water with are like, sorry, like the water people have not come down from the temple today. And then tomorrow they're like, check back tomorrow, same thing tomorrow. Like it just keeps happening, right? Like that's what's gonna be going on, right? So yeah, y'all are getting thirsty. Tensions are rising. But it hasn't been that long, I don't think. Like just a few days. But for everybody else, while you still have barter, Dice.
So I don't have any barter,
That is
but
true.
I do have a bar that is operating.
Yeah.
and people will be going to it because it's got liquor and they don't.
It's got liquor.
Yes, and I think that's the thing. So yeah, you're paid for.
Oh, it'd be so bad.
It's been very busy, but yeah, like I think this is the thing. Without a bouncer, like there's been like fights and like damage and like
There have been unsanctioned fights.
yes, like yeah, there's been trouble, right? You can't keep the wrong people out anymore, and like Rolf Ball's like former employees usually steered clear of your place, but now tend to show up here in large numbers, and like more and more of them have been hanging out there.
Oh, good.
In such that like you're like it's definitely still your place, but it's full of like basically gang members all the time now, and it's getting to be a bit much to manage, especially.
I guess I need to hire some new help.
Yeah, well, if you stop poisoning people.
Alternately, I could double down on the poison and poison more people.
Yeah, I mean, if you really want to poison more people, if you really want to get that poison going, you'll have to, visit the place where the water comes from and poison that. But we'll get to
dear.
That's not part of the move. I can't take the poison elsewhere and use it.
that. Yeah. Well, I mean, not with the move, but you could literally make poison.
I mean, I could literally bring
Yes.
poison. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so Hit Me Up is very busy right now with dangerous people. Okay, and among those dangerous people, friends too, and probably enjoying like quite a position of some significance among those dangerous people, is Brace, right? Brace, you and your new friends. And like they're treating you pretty good. Do you barter, or do you let
I would assume that I'm working a job for a NPC, so they would provide for me, but then whatever they provide for me, I would probably spend on drugs. So it's basically just like, you do this, we give you drugs.
Yes, yeah. So I was gonna check on you whether that was still an arrangement you were happy with. But yeah, they're willing, strings attached, to take care of you. And I don't think you're going thirsty. I think you still have access to clean water, because Rolf Ball's no idiot, and people like him and Bill stockpiled some of it before things got bad, before the cutoff. So for now, you still have access to their supply. But that also means that you are sort of beholden to, particularly it was Scab that like brought you in, right?
It was Junior.
It was Junior.
and It was Junior that brought me in, but I was like out with Scab when in the last episode doing things. So
yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, so the three of them that kind of have been like running the show, or at least like interim managing things so the stuff doesn't fall apart, or Scab, Trench, and Junior. Cool. All right. So you have access to your drugs, so you're not deprived of those. And you're in with the big boys, so you don't have to worry about water for now. So that just leaves Ferris.
I don't have any butter. I ran out.
All right. Well, when you run out of barter, is somebody going to pay to keep Ferris alive? I think everybody's kind of focused on their own shit right now.
I really would like to, but I can't. I have no barter. So.
Okay.
I wouldn't provide for anyone unless they were doing something real important for me.
Yeah.
How's this? Nipperkin, in your interactions while I'm in custody, Nipperkin has like my barter that has been set aside, like all my stuff, so it gets paid out of my stash. I don't know if like that's fair justification for me doing it, but I would happily pay for Ferris to have a one barter lifestyle.
I think you would have would you have instructed Nipperkin to do that? Like, because you're outside the temple. Like, I feel like if Nipperkin was like, oh, you're I see you're like running out of food and supplies and stuff. Why don't we go home? Why don't I take you to the temple and we can get you fed?
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of that, right? Like there's this extra floating around that I'm
let's put that to Ferris. Ferris, do you would you like leave your workshop and go and like become temple mechanic for a while so that you can maintain your lifestyle, or would you like to turn yourself over to my mercy to NPC you? Or just go like, yes, you're hungry and thirsty and just like suffering harm and stuff.
I think it's probably maybe more interesting if I get an opportunity to interact with the temple people. And since Nipperkin and I have been getting on fairly well, I assume, with our exchanging of information and going to graveyards.
Now this would mean temporarily abandoning your building an arm for dice. This is not a thing you can do at the temple that they would consider like work to be done, right? Because no one cares about Dice's arm at the temple.
Yeah, no, I mean I'm going to have to anyway, because I think one of the things I have listed on the project. Oh no, I don't have. No, I need to do this because I need to get myself into a decent position first before I can start doing things for other people again. I need to sort my own shit out first, like everybody else.
Okay.
I feel that.
So this was a not going to the temple. You've said no to that charity, or yes, you're going to go do that first.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
All right. I just want to make sure because you could look at those either way. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right. So you and Nipperkin have gone to the temple. I wonder. I guess Nipperkin would have at some point found out that things went bad for Babylon and Bill, right? And the two of you left Templetown because Nipperkin was like, "We got to get out of here. I have to go and tell the others that Tynant is in Bill's hands. You should come with me. It's not going to be safe here for long."
Yep, that's entirely reasonable. Let's go and do that thing.
Okay. All right. Sure. So I think it's been a few days, right? The water shortage is starting to be felt. things are starting to get a little tense in town, because as we as we review, let me see, where's the de-harm at? As we review the dying of thirst thing,
It's pretty severe.
yes, it's pretty severe. Social cohesion can last up to a week before breaking down into violence or dispersal. So I guess this is probably after like people start dying after 3 days. So this is like a day or two, maybe of
Jesus.
dehydration, and people are like crowding Hit Me Up. Sunset is making a killing, because she also makes booze, but it's not good. Like she's
And
got water.
presumably she's gonna run out.
And she's gonna run out. Yeah. So everybody's getting a little desperate. It's not like, well, all the water's gone yet. But yeah, things are getting a little intense. And I think that the people of Rolf Ball's former encampment have been like giving out like water rations to some people from their supply, because they have a lot of water, and they've been having people show up and giving out like cups of water to people anyone who asks. They're being real charitable about it.
I have a question.
Yes.
What happens when people drink the rainwater?
It's bad. It depends on the person, I think. The badness, more often than not, just makes you sick. You just get sick and you die. But sometimes more severe things happen. For the most part, though, it's just known, like, stay the fuck away from that shit. Yeah. The water from the sky is bad. The water from the ground is also bad. Cool. Okay. So let's maybe start with Brace and Dice and a bunch of other people at Hit Me Up. So Hit Me Up is just like packed to the gills, full of thirsty people who are getting drunk very quickly. And
drunk people.
Yeah.
I hope I can get some barter out of them.
And there's there's fights happening in the pit, and it's like, there's an edge of desperation to the place, but otherwise it's like it's pretty busy. It's kind of what you would hope for if you owned a bar. You'd want it to be full. So I think, Brace, you're there with Scab. Junior and Trench aren't there, and a bunch of like Scab's kind of
When you
underlings.
say a bunch, Adam, are we talking like a small gang of?
Yes, yeah. No one in Rolf Ball's operation ever travels in a smaller number than that. Like, they don't go out alone. They don't expose themselves to, to that. Plus, it's good to have
wondering,
a
like, mechanically, how many is like a lot.
I would say that if everyone in the bar like all got aimed in one direction, that would be that'd be
Wait,
that'd be a large gang.
Have 24 hours passed? You only have 24 hours to kill people with my poison.
Yes, yeah, 24 hours have definitely passed, and it's not kill, it's 3 harm.
Well, whatever.
So, Bean just didn't show up for work again after that. You haven't seen
Good,
you haven't seen him. You don't know if he's dead or alive, but you just haven't seen him. I'm gonna go ahead and put. There we go. Okay, so yeah, I mean, it's not like you are cognizantly aware of everybody who got poisoned.
No, that's fair. I'm just saying, like, they are dead or hurt already.
Oh yeah, no, I know. That they've taken their 3 harm AP and are dealing with that off screen.
Cool.
So yeah, you're there with Scab. And I think, Brace, that a little, like, I don't know, maybe like yesterday afternoon, Junior collapsed in like out in the yard, and she was taken to like get treated by the doctor. Rolf Ball had this weird doctor friend. What do they call him? Buzz. And Buzz was the guy who, like, he's predominantly like a chemist, but he also knows how to stitch people up. So he's like taking care of Junior, which is why she's not out tonight. Normally Junior loves to party. But it's you and Scab and a bunch of your new friends, and then the in the bar. And who else is at the bar right now? Dice.
Well, I mean, Lamprey, probably, if it's busy and he's not dead. Who else would probably be there? I mean, there's the whole suit of regulars. I don't know if they're regulars anymore, considering I broke Fam's teeth.
Fam will never speak to you again
Yeah.
if it's her choice.
And I'm imagining Litz is probably the same then, because those two were like best buddies.
Yeah, you kind of drove them off.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have a lot of friends to like populate the bar with right now.
So your
It's
hit me up is full of strangers.
pretty much.
Okay.
Domino, maybe?
No,
Oh,
Domino's not just there.
man, that was a wasted barter. All right.
So it's not wasted barter. You just spent it and then didn't follow it up. But
One
that's
of
okay.
one of my two ever barter I've ever had in this game.
Yeah.
All right.
So I guess if you want to just be focusing on doing work, like doing your job and running the bar, you could run a gig if you want.
That's basically what I'm doing.
Yeah, because it sounds like that's what you've been
I mean,
up
that's
to.
what I've been doing for the last day and a half, because this place has been packed as shit. There's no water.
Okay. Well, let's have you act under fire.
All right.
Because the fire here is that you have no friends. You're essentially running the bar yourself, and you're trying to keep the chaos in check. But I mean, you've done this before. You know how to keep chaos in check. Okay. All right. Partial success. Some part of your business. You know what it is. You can get the thing, but no one's interested in. Like the part of your business has like drifted off, right? Like they, you don't have the drugs anymore. So like the basement. I don't know. What have you converted the like weird like drug basement into?
I would imagine it's not really anything right now. Like,
Yeah.
I haven't had time to do anything with it. It's only been a day, and I'm dealing with a water shortage, so people want stuff to drink, whatever it is.
Okay.
So I would imagine, like, I probably have a fairly good store of alcohol, as alcohol is supposed to be like the main selling point for this place.
Definitely,
Like,
yeah.
that was what I had originally. So I probably have a pretty good store. I imagine that, and something that I want to do is I want to talk to Scab if I can, if she's here.
Mhm.
I definitely want to talk to her about some potential business that we could do.
Yeah. So okay, yeah. So the like drug and fights kind of part of Hit Me episode of Fate. Like I think you've had to like repurpose or like open the like caged like fighting area so people can like stand in there because it's like really crowded. Like there's like, I don't know, twice the number of normal people that you'd have in this place. So they
Damn.
need space
All
to
right.
stand around. You get three barter from working the gig. But yeah, it's just on the edge of being out of control for you. Like some things happen and you just have to like look the other way because there's somebody who wants to give you brass for drinks.
Yeah, I'm down for brass.
Okay.
100%.
All right.
I'll look the other way, having people I don't know punch other people I don't know in the face. What do I care?
Yeah. Okay. So meanwhile, at one of the tables, Scab and Brace, you're sitting and talking, and
I'm not talking.
well, Scab is talking, and you're listening, and yeah, and Scab is telling you about an opportunity. So she's we kind of like come in on the conversation, and she's like, listen, the only reason that this whole thing worked in the first place is that Rolf Ball was so tough, right? And yeah, like everybody gets killed no matter how tough you are, but that's what this organization needs. We need somebody tough to be in charge. None of this ruling by committee shit. I mean, Junior and Trench, they've been doing good work, but I think it's time, right? It's time for somebody to step up. We can't go without another Rolf Ball for too long. And look, if this water situation is just going to keep getting worse, someone's going to need to, deal with the temple. And I need to know, where your loyalties lie on this.
As is it public knowledge that Bill is holding Tynant?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. So if I've been with the gang, would I know like how they're just giving people water? Like how much, like how long do they think that they have before the water situation like gets out of hand?
I mean, that seems like a charged situation you could have read.
Okay. Let me. What is that? Sharp, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Roleplay sharp. Do I replace that with anything? I don't think so.
Dice, at any point during this conversation, if you want to like come up to the table or whatever, bring Scab a drink, you're welcome to do so. And
Okay,
jump in.
I will wait.
Yeah,
However,
sure.
I can ask a question.
Yeah, what would you like to know? And this is just about your general like assessment of like following Scab around and doing minor brain tweaking, assessing kind of the situation with like the water, whatever.
Okay, I guess like in terms of like maybe not necessarily just the water, but like the whole like gang situation. I really
Yep.
want to know who's in control.
I mean, currently nobody, which is Scab's problem. The Cerberus does not know which direction to pull the leash. Junior is the most aggressive and wants to fight everybody. Scab seems to have plans like for the future. And Trench, you haven't spent a lot of time with Trench. He's mostly like he's the best connected with Buzz, I think. He's like maybe Buzz is like brother or cousin or something. And he spends most of the time in the labs underneath the facility in the manufactory
With the drugs.
with the drugs. Yeah.
the dogs.
Yeah, Buzz and Trench are close, and Trench is the kind of drug guy. But none of the three of them is like firmly in charge anymore. They were all kind of Rolpol's lieutenants, right?
Okay. So I like look at Scab when she's just like, someone needs to take charge. Like there needs to be like a whatever, like Junior can't do it, blah, 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 blah. And I guess I like give it a second and I just like stare at her and then I ask like, what do you want me to do about it?
She well, I mean, whatever I say, right? Like there might be messy times to come, and I'm gonna need your help cleaning up. And then once everything's all sorted, we got our hierarchy in order with me at the top. Well, you get to reap the benefits, right? I appreciate loyalty, and I need you to be loyal. And if you think that's going to be a problem for you, well, we need to talk about that shit right now. And she like leans over and like kind of pushes her. She's got an empty glass on the table. She kind of like pushes it out of the way, and you know, one of her like dreadlocks kind of falls down on the table, and she gives this real steely look, like she's trying to like figure you out, or she's trying to seem like she's figuring you out. It's hard to tell.
I want to like. She wants me to just do whatever she says. Rude. I feel like Brace would want to be like, no, you do what I say. I guess like I do ask, like she asks like reap the benefits or whatever. Like Brace would be like, what benefits?
Yes, what benefits? She's like, she just gestures openly, like, imagine whatever you want. You know, she says, she's like, well, we got ins with everybody. I mean, we own this town. Sure, Bill's the mayor, but these people, without us, anything you want. When I'm in charge, you can have it. So long as you stay loyal.
I want to like get in her head. I want to, I guess, read her. Can I read her?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, I want to read her. So that would be sharp again.
Yeah, and so like this conversation is happening because like, yes, Junior recruited you, but Junior is sick, and Scab is using this as an opportunity to be like, you can be on my team. I'm gonna give you all the drugs you want. What up?
Yeah. Yeah.
But you
okay,
can
so
definitely
I
read
want
her.
to read her. I want to see if I can get anything like specific about like how she. Yeah,
Yeah.
I read her lots. So I get to ask 3 questions, but I can. I want to know, what does her character wish I would do?
Promise loyalty. Get on her team for the big win. Yeah.
What does that mean
Uh,
to her? Like, what does loyalty look like to her? Just
Just-
do whatever she says.
yes, that's exactly it. That's what loyalty is. You do what I say because I'm in charge, and you're loyal. Loyal people do what they're told. If you don't do what you're told, you're being disloyal.
Okay. What does her character intend to do? What does she intend to do?
She intends to take over Rolf Ball's organization and to use you as a tool to do that. But she also intends to punish you if you don't go along with it, because if you're not with her, you're against her. So there's an edge there of like, yeah, do this or bad shit will happen to you.
I don't like that.
And you can save the other ones if you want to like ask her questions or like have more conversation with her, right?
Yeah, I guess I'll hold the one then, and I want to like, if I read from her that if I don't do what she says, then she's gonna try and like hurt me. Like I want to get the upper hand. Like I don't want her to have the ability to just like shut me down or shut my like source off or like control me or manipulate me. So I want to try and plant some puppet strings. Like if I have to like, what did you say, like roll cool before to see if I can get a hand on her or something?
Oh, she's not gonna let you touch her. She knows your fucking nasty tricks. No, there's no way that she'll let you casually touch her. That stay away from me, weirdo. That's why she knows which way to point the gun.
Look,
She's like right up like in my face.
No,
you
she's
do,
across
Bryce.
she's across the table from you.
all you do is you go aggro with your brain and you tell her to hold still. And then if she doesn't hold still, you kill her with your brain. And if she does hold still, you puppet strings her. And then you kill her with your brain.
Killing her with your brain in the middle of her gang might be tough.
Yeah, it might be interesting. She's not gonna let me touch her, but she's gonna like punish me if I don't do exactly what she says.
I mean,
and I don't want exactly
yeah,
what
like her. Remember, she's not dice. When I say she's gonna punish you, I don't mean she's gonna flip the table and like throw a grenade at you. I mean, she's gonna cut you off from.
Dice would do.
She's gonna starve you out, right? She's gonna cut you off from the supply. She's gonna wring you out. She knows you're an addict, right? She's like,
no, that's the same in Brace's mind. That is hurting me.
yeah, totally.
Okay, well, if she's gonna be a bitch, I guess like Brace would be like, okay, so you just want like full control over everything. And she like looks at her across the table and then gets up and like turns around and she's like, Brace works for Brace. And then she would go to the bar.
I'll just go to my other sugar daddy.
So you get up, and you're like, Brace works for Brace, and she shakes her head as you're getting up, and she's like, it's a real shame. It's a real shame, kid. But that's how you want it to be. And when you stand up and you start to go, she says, but don't come back looking for the shit when you start getting the shakes. Start feeling real sick. Because you're cut off.
I thought you weren't in control yet.
She sneers at you. She's like, I'm in control enough.
So if that's the case, then Brace is gonna try and like go get there before she does. Like she's gonna leave instead of going to the bar.
I hurry off to get the drugs.
Hurry off, to get the drugs. Yes.
I love how Brace seems to have no concept of like where she is and the position she's in. And, like she commands of people. It's so great.
Yeah, it's really good.
What? I don't.
At this point, while Brace is leaving, can I walk up?
Yeah, sure.
Because I want to talk to Scab for a second.
All right, so you start walking up to the table, and one of Scab's like goons just like steps in your way.
Okay.
As you walk up to the table, and he's got a gun, right? It's not like in your face, but he's holding a shotgun, and he just steps in your way, kind of like he's bouncing you from the table. And are you carrying like drinks or something, or
Yeah,
you
I got
walk
like
over?
a fucking glass in my hand with like this orange crap in it.
All right, so you walk up, and he stops you, and then looks over his shoulder, and Scab is like, "It's okay. Um, it's all right for you to approach the table you own in the bar you own with the drink that she's bought from you."
Yeah.
And then he steps out of the way, and
I give
actually,
him,
you know what? You know what's happened? I think the thing is that Scab and her people have turned the fighting pit into a little VIP area, and he's standing by the gate, like
Okay.
bouncing people. Right? This is the chain link fence version of the champagne room, and you walk up, and he's just like, "Got to check with the boss." Like looks over his shoulder, and she's like, "No, it's cool." And he steps out of the way and lets you.
I just give him like a sarcastic, gracious nod and like move through.
He doesn't get it and
Yeah,
just nods
exactly.
like, yeah.
Exactly. And I put the drink down. I've only got one arm still, so serving drinks can be a little awkward. The drink down and say, yeah, I brought you something. On the house, liquids are a little more scarce at the moment than they have been last couple of days. So figure the favors, relatively worth something.
Yeah, she looks at the glass on the table, and then she's got her arm around this handsome young man as far as the apocalypse goes, who's like her like boyfriend. Let's come up with a name for Scab's boyfriend. His name is, let's see, where's the Skinner names? His name is June. June, Scab's boyfriend, and she looks at him, and he picks up the drink and like smiles at you and like drinks some of it, and like puts it down.
It's not poison.
Yeah. And she doesn't pick it up yet, but she's just like, "Thanks for the drink. My boyfriend can have it. I don't want your shit."
Oh.
And it's not like an insult. She's just like, "Thanks, but I'm not thirsty," basically.
Right. Well, I had something I wanted to talk to you about.
Yeah, she gestures to the seat.
So I sit down sort of like across from her.
Yeah.
I'm like, so you like my place, huh? A lot of your guys hanging out here. Nice secure location in the back here in a nice caged off area. I know, it's well designed. Ferris, really good at this stuff. Yeah. Feeling positively about your situation right now? Holding the leash, so to speak? Enjoying the fact that your boss is, because that was me, you well know. So here's the deal. You like my place, you can give me a little bit of a hand, and I'll pay.
She looks pointedly at your like stump arm when you say that.
See, it's a funny joke because you.
Good, yeah. So I'll pay. Got a little bit of jingle now, a little bit of brass in the pockets. It's nice to have such a busy place, but I'm at a lack of security. Yeah, see, a lot of people doing a lot of things I'm not a huge fan of. So tell you what, pay a little bit of brass to your guys. Not even you, just a couple of your guys. Leave them here, or with me, and you get plenty of drinks in this water-free environment for you and your guys.
She looks at you and she's like, "You like to run your mouth, huh?"
It's a couple other things I'd like to run too, like cars off cliffs into giant explosions. Can I read her, please?
Yeah, totally. You can read her as she takes her turn to speak.
Okay. Oh, rip.
So she leans back and she says, Don't act like you did anybody any fucking favors by killing Rolf Ball. Because it's not how that shit worked. He had things under control. And it's been a fucking hassle trying to clean up your mess.
Yeah, but think of the pay increase.
Yeah, sometimes it's not about that. Sometimes it's about stability. Hard to enjoy what you're getting paid when things are chaotic and they're just going to get worse before they get better. And that shit's on you, Dice. You did that to us. We're going to remember it, but doesn't mean we can't do business. So here's the deal. You want my guys to take care of your bar? Keep things nice and smooth? Get that brass flowing for you? Here's what we're going to do. This place, like looks around, this place is my place now. And I'm going to let you keep working here. And then we're even for Rolf Ball. You keep doing good work. We'll make sure that you got things you need to sell to your customers. Because this, and she gestures at the drink that her like boyfriend is drinking, this shit's going to run out real quick. And we got control of the only supply. And besides, we got some new shit coming I think your customers are really going to like. But like I said, you want to make good for Rolf Ball, I figured this ought to do it.
You want me to hand over my work?
She says, like, she gestures. She's like, look around, honey. It's already done.
Yeah, but like you said, sometimes it's about stability, Scab. Something I'm really fucking good at ruining for you. Let me have this, and maybe I'll stop for a while. Let me have this, and maybe there won't be any kind of, I don't know, slight problem in the near future. It could be easy for you to deal with, you know. It could be simple as anything, but it also could be a big problem. It also could already be a problem. Now, I might be able to solve that problem if we just make a more reasonable deal. A deal that doesn't fuck me over in a completely ridiculous way. You dig?
I mean, not really. Like, you're being very vague with her. And like, yeah, I think she doesn't really, like, you don't get the impression she sees you as a threat, right? Like, she's already kind of pitying you, and like the implication here for her is like, we let you stick around because we feel bad for you, and like somebody needs to run the bar, so it might as well be you. But if you want to try to manipulate her, you can, but I feel like the threats you're making now are too unclear for it to really stick.
Okay. Let me clear it up then. I want to keep control of my bar. And you can hang out here all you like. I don't mind that, obviously. But I'll pay you. And the drinks, don't consider it a problem. If you take it from me, I'm gonna be really upset. And when I get really upset, things happen that don't end well for the person who I'm upset at. Does that make more sense? Can I like roll hot or something? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
Hard.
let's look at we'll look at the moves, right? Like, you know, going aggro is for, like, hard would be for, like, I'm gonna shoot you in the face right now if you don't give me what I want. This is more, you know, this is more trying to manipulate her. You tell her what you want her to do, and you're giving her a reason, like, things will be complicated for her if you don't. So you can roll. I think that's enough to trigger the move.
I can make it more complicated. I can make her life more complicated than it already is basically what I'm.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see if she believes you, I guess, is the purpose of the roll.
Hot.
All right. So she'll go along with you, but needs some concrete assurance, corroboration, or evidence first. So you're gonna have to make at least partially good on that threat, and it doesn't have to be right now. But for right now, she's not sold. She doesn't see you as a danger. She figures that her and her people already own your bar, and that you're here on their good graces. So. But if you're able to show her that it would be better not to push, then she will. But for right now,
All right. See, there's the thing that's been happening past couple of days. You may have noticed Bean. Don't see him anywhere. Haven't seen him recently. Yeah, that's what happens when people upset me. And I didn't touch him.
so she looks at you. She's like, kind of shrugs. She's like, so what? You have your employees killed.
Well, I mean, I have people who are trying to steal my bar killed. People who are making deals behind my back killed. People who irritate me killed.
I think the trick here is you're arguing from a position that she doesn't have. Like she's not like afraid of you, I guess, is the thing.
I mean, I know.
So saying
But,
all of this stuff feels I think like kind of like an empty threat. Like she's listening and she's paying attention, and it's like, okay, cool, like you can poison people, but that just means she's not going to drink at your bar anymore. Yeah, I don't know. Like I know what you want. Like you want to intimidate her, but she's just not in a position to be intimidated in this way right now.
All right. I guess I walk away then.
Okay.
I mean, if she's not listening, she's not listening.
I mean, if you'd been able to read her, you could have asked like, how could I get you to whatever? But I think this is actually a fair representation that like you have that 9 that she's like, yeah, okay, maybe you're a little unstable, and there would be an opportunity to prove it.
Definitely unstable.
But yeah, I mean, I think right now you don't. She's opaque to you. You're not going to be able to figure her out in this moment. She's definitely arguing from a position of power, right?
All right.
Kind of like when you find an opportunity to prove that you can be a thorn in her side in like subsequent scenes,
yeah,
then she'll come around.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, that's exactly right. Cool. All right. Yeah. So you go back to working your gig.
I have a follow-up to that.
Sure.
I don't know if we're doing it immediately unless somebody else wants to like do a thing, but it has to do with them being in that particular area of the bar.
Yeah. I mean, I know you want to like remember that the place is shut down, and I know that there was like an electrified floor and stuff, but that's turned off.
Aww.
They would not leave that on. Like they basically have, like I was saying at the beginning, they've taken over your bar and you have no friends. Like you're gonna have to go outside of this situation to fix it. It's not gonna just be like, haha, I activate the trap door and you all die. Like they're smart. Scab's very smart. Yeah, so they've got that under control, and I think maybe this is what you walk away from that conversation realizing that like, yeah, you got to turn to someone else for help, because right now you're alone in this sea of unfriendly faces. But they're leaving you to like operate the bar, so you got to find where you're strong and then push there. Cool. Okay, so. While that's happening, and Brace, I know you said you were going back to the manufactory.
Yeah, I want to find I would be if Junior's sick and the only person that I don't know that could potentially be in control is Trench, then I would probably want to go see Trench.
Yeah, we can have a scene with that in a little bit. I want to check on where Ferris and Tynan are at. Ferris, you and Nipperkin left town to go to the temple.
Yes.
And you've been put to work in the temple, right? Like they're asking, and there's lots of stuff for a technically inclined person. Like I think the temple would, regardless of what other political shit's going on there with Tynan, the temple would welcome someone like you. And have you worked at the temple before?
I think I did I think I was like at the beginning of the.
Yeah, you've come in and helped us out in the past, I would say,
Yeah.
for sure.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So on arrival, I think you were you know, yeah, you were welcomed, and um there's no welcoming ritual. There's no like, you know, because Tynan's not here. But you notice that the place is maybe different than the last time you were here. It's only been, you know, like a week, maybe two by now, but the last time you were here, it was like more open, and there were like the sort of fields were the first thing you saw, but like a fence has been erected now, mostly of scavenged concrete barriers, like, you know, roadside like shoulders, like highway shoulders,
Mhm.
and like chain link and bits of scavenged like metal and wood. So there's a big fence around the perimeter that's been assembled. And when you get there, there are a bunch of people that are assembling a like a little tower, like a lookout tower over the road. And you notice, yeah, everybody's got guns now. And there's like a checkpoint when you get there, and they don't seem to have their like shit figured quite out yet. Like the person at the gate who you pick up is named Porter. Porter and Nipperkin have a conversation where Porter's like, "Oh, I can't just let you in," and Nipperkin's like, "I fucking live here, man." And Porter's like, "Yeah, but hold on, there's like a thing I'm supposed to," and like they have this kind of awkward thing where eventually Porter's like, "Okay, all right, well we'll let you in, but we like, you know, some stuff has changed," and Nipperkin leaves you to go and work to talk to Porter and some other people, and you're left alone with Melody, and Melody is someone who has just been like around the temple for a while. She lives out here, and yeah. So Nipperkin is like, Melody, like find something that the Ferris can help with. Yeah, and Melody's like younger woman. I think she's in her like mid-20s.
Mhm.
She's of like South Asian descent, and she's wearing like they're waders, like fishing waders, but she's like repurposed them as like regular clothes, so they're like cut and like re-sewed on the sides, so they actually fit like overalls, like weird rubber overalls. And she's got a jacket and like a baseball cap on, and she seems really excited that you're here. And she's like, I know you. You're that mechanic from town, right?
Sure. Yeah. I do mechanical things. I fix them. That's the thing that people don't pay me to do.
Good.
I'm Ferris.
She puts her hand out to like shake your hand. She's like, I'm Melody. I mostly work in the kitchen, but not today.
Okay. Yeah, I'll shake her hand.
Okay.
It is a pleasure to meet you.
She smiles and she like does a little like bow. It's a pleasure to meet you too. I'm glad you're here to help. We have so much work to do.
Right. Yes. That's what I'm doing. I'm doing it so you can help sustain me. I'll get food and things.
She laughs. Yes, of course. Of course. Some things have changed since you were here last, but everyone eating is still very important. We have to stay strong for what's to come.
Right. Are there still ghosts?
She laughs. She's like, I don't know that that's a word that I would have ever used to describe them, but the laws, they still stand for the most part. We're going through a bit of a transition period right now, and well, you don't need to worry about that. If you do work, then you'll get food, like everyone else.
Okay. What happens if somebody else breaks the rules to me while I'm here?
What do you
Who
mean?
gets in charge? Who does the well, Tynant's not here. Even though
She
last
nods.
time-
She's like, yeah, Tynan and Nipperkin went down into Templetown to talk to Bill. There have been some problems of late. Did you see him? Nipperkin, I mean. And like Melody just shows up. She didn't know that you were like necessarily brought here. Like he told Porter to tell Melody to like you've been passed around a few times, so she's just kind of like confused about like what's going on.
Oh, yeah, I was with Nipikin. We were doing a secret project.
She laughs. She's like, well, we're not really big on secrets here. But if Nipperkin is, I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah, you're both like, okay, yeah, okay, let's talk about something that's not making us both feel weird. And she's like, we have some irrigation equipment that I'd like you to take a look at. And she leads you over to like a water pump that they've got that's like set up to irrigate one of the fields. And it's definitely broken. Just like degradation of time, the parts have eroded. And she points at it and she's like, this is broken. Can you unbreak it?
I certainly can, but if there are any like bits that I need, will you be able to provide them? This is something I've learned that I'm supposed to ask beforehand, because otherwise we get into the situation where I have to come up here and work for you because I don't have any of my own money or stuff to do the things that I want to do for my own self.
She puts her hand on your shoulder and she's like, don't worry, we don't do the brass thing up here. Anything you need to repair any of the equipment, you can ask me or anyone else and we'll have someone check for you. We scavenge sometimes. We might not have anything complicated, so if you need something special, you can ask one of the scavengers and they'll try to find it for you. But scrap and materials, we should be able to find those in the yard. You don't have to worry about buying things here. That's not how it works.
I suppose I could get used to that.
She nods.
All right. Sure. Leave me to it. Do you want me? Who should I go and find to talk to if I need stuff? I need to do a cursory examination of the problem.
Yeah, she just points out somebody who can help you. Someone who like works the machine, like in the machine shop. Somebody who repairs like vehicles and like tilling equipment and stuff.
All right.
What's Andrew? What's the name of that person?
Yeah, totally. I'm like looking it up right now.
Okay.
That person's name is Sista.
Okay. Cool. Machinist Sista the machinist. So they'll be able to assist you if you need. They'll be able to help you if you need anything to repair the equipment. But basically, they're putting you on some of the hard jobs that they're like, something is broken. We don't know how it works. Fix it.
Right.
Because they know that that's a thing you can do.
I have one more request. It might sound a little bit weird. I really like to have a person that I know in a place. Can you be the person that I know? Just in case things go weird. I mean, not saying they are. I'm not going to cause any trouble, probably. Just things around here, just...
I think she takes a step towards you, and she's definitely gone from being like at casual conversational distance to like a more like, I don't know if Ferris would notice this, but if we were observing the scene, she stepped into a more intimate conversation space with you. She's in your personal bubble, and not in a like fronting way, but in a like, hey, it's okay. It's like the moment before someone like hugs you and is like, it's okay, they're there. But she doesn't actually touch you. She just gets closer and she says, I remember what it was like coming here early on. I had to leave some things behind, and it was hard for the first little while, but you'll get to know people. You'll make friends. And she smiles and nods at you, and she's like, it would please me very much to be your first friend here at the temple.
Yeah, he just like stands for a second, and he's like smiling, but then realizes he can't see, and so he just nods his head. He's like, good, all right, I will get to doing the work things, and maybe we can you can show me around the rest of the place later, maybe, just so I know what everything's going on.
Yeah, she nods too. She's like, of course. So she's like, I have to go and do some work before evening meal, but and then she looks you up and down. You have a gun, right?
I do.
Do you have it like in a place where she can see it?
No.
Okay, so she looks you up and down. And she's like, "Oh, wait, do you have a gun, Ferris? Or I mean, like a big knife would be okay too." I'm sorry,
Yeah.
that must sound like a strange question.
No. Yeah. I mean, I'm not hiding. It's just in my coat with all the other stuff.
Do you show it to her?
Yeah.
Okay, so she looks at it and she seems to like take a moment to be like assessing it and its worthiness, and then she nods sternly and she's like, "Good. It's important that we remain vigilant and armed. Violence is coming." And she says that just like she's saying like, "Oh, I think it's gonna rain."
Okay. Yep, that seems totally reasonable and a thing that people would say.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So she leaves. She leaves to go and attend to whatever business she needs to attend to. And somewhere in the background, in a scene that we're not seeing, Nipperkin and the rest of the like council are deciding what the fuck to do about Tynant. So we'll likely see the effects of that, but not necessarily the decisions that lead up to it, which is just fine with me.
Cool.
Cool. All right.
Read an irrigation system.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, I don't think you have to make a move here. Like, it's broken and you've fictionally positioned yourself by just choosing the Savvy Head to be a person who can fix this. So
I know I can fix it.
Yeah.
I also want to find more stuff out about the town by looking at the things that feed the town and make sure it exists.
So you wanna read the situation generally, but by using the like infrastructure of the town to tell you things.
Right. The irrigation system, like underpinning it, is like the veins and arteries of it. So when things speak on the irrigation system,
It's just like the scope of the move is a little bit wider.
Yeah.
So does this feel like, and this is a question to Dave and the rest of the group, does this feel more like a reading a charged situation, or things speak on the temple as an object?
I don't think you could read the whole temple as an object.
Certainly not from here. I think if you were at the well, you might be able to do that.
But I feel like it's about the kind of information that that we want to get at, right? Because like the situation moves give us one set of answers, and the things speak moves is a very different set of answers, right? Like,
yeah, I don't know if we can answer the questions that things speak is going to ask of us in a way that makes sense.
Just open your mind to the maelstrom. That's always a good answer.
I mean, that's the other option. Yeah, certainly.
Just let it in.
The maelstrom's going to give you a third set of answers.
Yeah. I was thinking the question I was going to ask specifically, if it changes your mind at all, was who made this? If I did things speak, I wasn't going to get too tricky about it, but if there was a better or more interesting answer to who made this, I think that would be kind of cool to maybe explore.
Yeah, I guess my only question is whether you're interested in the thing as a persistent object or the current movement of the thing as a system.
Oh, current movement of the thing as a system, yeah.
Okay, so that's definitely reading a situation by way of looking at its pieces mechanically.
Okay, yeah, I'm happy to do that in that case.
Yeah, let's do that, and then I'll answer you, and we can take a break.
Bloop.
Oh boy. All right. Well, you know what? Let's take a break now, and I'll think about what happens subsequently. But yeah. Okay. Good. Fantastic. Thank you for that gift.
Alrighty then.
So I'll ponder that on the break, and when we get back, we'll figure it out, and then I want to see what's happening over at Bill's place because Tynant. No, Tynant.
Oh, Tynant.
All right, stick around. We got more Apocalypse World coming at you right after this.